Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel for another edition of Tru Heel Heat Check, giving you the latest in NBA basketball, back live on the THH Sports YouTube channel. It's been too long. We are now a week following the end of the NBA Finals, and I am back with my brother. My brother is back on the show after missing the last couple of editions
I'm
of
missing the fucking last two
THC.
rounds.
Missing the last two rounds in our recaps of them. He is back. You know who he is. You see him on NX3. You see him on Blunt Impact. You usually see him here. It's just been a while. But he is Chris G. How you doing, Chris?
I'm great. It was a busy last couple months, but we here. We back. I've been watching basketball. I've been keeping up, of course. So can't wait to get into everything that's been happening in the last few weeks.
Yes, it's been too long since we've been together. I am glad you are back with me here. I had to deal with Romeo the last few rounds. No, I'm just joking. Romeo is always the good brother, always loves to pinch hit for us on Tru Heel Heat Check. So I was glad to have him with us. And yes, I see everybody a couple of people in the live chat. Sound off in the live chat if you are with us live for the latest edition of Tru Heel Heat Check. And of course, drop the thumbs up. That helps the YouTube algorithms. And of course, if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. You know, we've been sitting on like just 6 subscribers away from 400, and we just kind of eclipsed 1 year of this YouTube channel. So we're trying to hit that next big number here. So would appreciate any support that we can get for us here. And yeah, you'll see us with more NBA coverage, more NFL coverage, more MLB coverage in the weeks to come. We're going to be doing some more content, even though the wrestling world never slows down and doesn't give us a lot of time. We will be putting some more coverage here on the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. And of course, if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We would love to hear from all of y'all, hear your thoughts on the NBA Finals, on everything that's been going down in the NBA since the end of the season 1 week ago. But Chris G, how have you been feeling? What's all your thoughts on this year's NBA playoffs before we get into the NBA Finals specifically?
The playoffs as a whole, I thought this year was probably one of the most fun playoffs in recent memory. I mean, from top to bottom, you got the Lakers, coming in at a low seed and making a little run towards it. You got the Knicks making a little run, hyping up Knicks fans, giving us more false hope than we already needed.
Y'all never need more false hope.
Exactly, right? So why give us more, right? And then the Miami Heat, man, the best 8 seed with an asterisk to come out of out of any conference to make it to the NBA Finals. It's pretty cool to see. And then just the team who won. I like the Nuggets. I think they deserved it. Everybody on that team deserves it. The coach deserves it. The city deserves it. The franchise deserves it. So, I mean, it was cool to see them winning. And, beating the Heat who beat the Knicks. So I guess I get some satisfaction in that.
Oh yes. You can get some satisfaction. You're supposed to be happy that the team that beat you won the championship. I'm happy. I'm happy that the team that beat us.
I mean, I would have
we lost to the champions.
Too.
We lost to the champions. So I'm totally fine. People wanted to get at me like, "Oh, Lakers got swept." We got swept by the champions, though. I'm saying we didn't just get swept by any old team. We got swept by the champions.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the guys that lost to the team that lost to the champions. So
exactly, you're the team that lost.
Exactly.
Who overachieved and they went to the finals and got gentlemen swept. Look at that. See how I spun it? I spun it in the negative way towards the Knicks.
Of course, it's the Knicks. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, like I said, sound off in the live chat. If you're with us live, you're watching on demand, you can let us know in the comments down below what you thought about the NBA finals and everything else. We got our boy, the Stat King, saying someone get Dame some goddamn help. I guess we will touch on that as we talk about what's going to go down this off season. We got ALW asking a question about the off season. What do the Lakers do this off season? I will answer that as the Laker aficionado here on Tru Heel Heat Check. We got John Martin as well saying like and subscribe, 6 away from 400 subscribers. We would love to hit another milestone here on the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. We're making big numbers and big movement in on the wrestling channel where we pretty much have double our subscribers this year. So would love to hit 400 and then 500 subscribers here on our second channel. We also got ALW says, what piece do the Knicks need to get to that next level? Trade for someone, free agent pickup?
We'll talk about that. I'm sure we'll touch it on that later as well.
We will touch on it. White Lightning saying we got Joseph with it saying hope all are well. And yes, ALW saying, wow, it's been 1 year of THH Sports. Damn, yes. Goes by so fast. But we've made some movement here on the channel, and definitely we love all the support. Appreciate all the support as well. So thank you for everyone who have already subscribed to the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. But yes, the NBA Finals went down, and it was a gentleman's sweep for the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, we a lot of people were sleeping on them. Some people predicted what they were gonna do. How surprised were you to see the Nuggets at the end of the day become the NBA champions this year?
I mean, I didn't realize how deep of a team they were in the beginning of the season until the season, progressed. They made the right moves to make their team well-rounded, like being three guys, guys that could slash, do a little bit of everything. But then it all really depended on, can Jamal Murray play the level like we all know Murray can, right? The bubble Murray, which doesn't, the bubble Murray doesn't exist anymore. This is just Jamal Murray. That's it. There's no more bubble Murray. This is Jamal Murray. Can he play at that level? And can Michael Porter Jr. stay healthy and play at a high level? How is Aaron Gordon going to contribute? He was kind of like a question mark. How are we still fitting him into the Denver culture? And then Jokic is going to be Jokic. Everybody pretty much knew that was going to happen. And everybody did what they had to do. Aaron Gordon became probably their best defender on their team in the rotation. And he stepped up offensively when he had to. Michael Porter Jr. played good. He played great that last game. He really kept the offense alive that first half until Denver, kind of started to pull away in the second half. And Jamal Murray played like Jamal Murray. So, all those things happen. They're a very good team, deep team, and they deserve to win.
So as you were doing all of that, you know what I did, Chris? I did it, guys.
I'm curious to find out.
I have found our preseason predictions.
Oh, man. We probably weren't even close.
I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had to do that. I didn't want to do it. I'll be honest. I didn't want to do it. But yeah, let me see. Share screen. Yeah, here we go. We go.
Gonna share visually see it.
Yep. Visually see it. So this was Chris G's preseason picks right here. He had Bucks.
Wait, I can't see it on the screen. Oh, Bucks on. Oh, I have Bucks at 1.
Wait, let me share this here.
There we go.
You can see it now. We can see it now. Here, I'll make it. Let me. How do I make this closer? Yeah, let's.
That's good.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So yeah, you had the Bucks at 1. You had Sixers at 2, Nets at 3, Cavs at 4, Heat at 5, Celtics at 6, Knicks at 7, Hawks at 8, Raptors at 9, and Bulls at 10. So, like, you had a lot of the playoff teams even in the preseason. You had a lot of the playoff and the play-in teams correct. You just It was just seeding and mix matching stuff, and no
That's
one
it.
could have predicted that the Nets were going to just go full throttle on trading both Kyrie and KD. So that's understandable why you had the Nets at 3 at the beginning of the season, and you had the Bucks as the Eastern Conference finalist. Then in the West, you had Warriors at 1,
Oh
you
my
had
god.
Clippers. You had Clippers at 2. You had Nuggets at 3. Suns at 4. Timberwolves at 5. Grizzlies at 6. Pelicans at 7. Lakers at 8. Mavericks at 9. And Blazers at 10. And your Western Conference finalists were the Warriors and Clippers. And NBA finals, you had Warriors and Bucks, and champion the Bucks. Don't worry, Chris. I
Shame
think I
on
think
me.
I did worse. I did worse than you. Well, I had in the Eastern Conference, I had the Celtics at 1, Bucks at 2, Sixers at 3, Cavs at 4, Heat at 5, Nets at 6. I think I got the Nets at 6 correct. I had that correct. Raptors at 7, Bulls at 8. Jesus Christ, what was I thinking? Hornets at 9, and Hawks at 10. I had Bucks and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Final. I mean, I did have the team. I did have the Bucks, but they got beat by the team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Celtics. So I got that one close. Uh, I got half right. And then the West, I mean, I wasn't any better than you in the West. I had the
Oh
Mavericks
man.
at 2. Oh my god.
I told you. I told you that was bad. That was risky.
You did tell me that at the beginning of the season. He's like, I don't know why you're so high on them, and I don't know why either in retrospect. But Warriors at 1, Mavericks at 2, Clippers at 3, Timberwolves at 4, Suns at 5, Nuggets at 6. Jesus Christ, I was sleeping on the Nuggets. Grizzlies at 7, Lakers at 8, Pelicans at 9, and Thunder at 10. I had this pretty much the same as you, except I had the Warriors winning the championship over the Bucks. Jesus Christ! And then our mid-season picks. Remember, because mid-season we was like, okay, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's see
This
how
one
we
might have been.
pick
Oh my
things.
god! Why is the Wizards in there? Why are the Wizards in there?
Oh yes, yes. I think we all did. We all did. We all
Yeah,
did. Romeo says safe to say Chris has lost all trust in the Clippers. We
they're
did.
not even making
We
the
did.
playoffs next year. Fuck it. I'm not even including them in anything.
And yes, we both had the Lakers pretty much in the play-in. So, and hey, we were right. We were right. They just went farther than a lot. Even me, this diehard Laker fan, they went farther than I thought they would go. But mid-season, Chris changed it up a little bit to Bucks at 1, Celtics at 2, Nets at 3. You still had the Nets at 3, because this
I
was
think this is
before the
before.
KD,
Yeah.
before the KD and Kyrie trade. Sixers at 4, Cavs at 5, Knicks at 6, Heat at 7, Wizards at 8, Hawks at 9, and Raptors at 10. And then you had Celtics Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I mean everyone was kind of on board with that. Then in the West, you had Nuggets at 1, Grizzlies at 2, Mavs at 3, Clippers at 4, Kings at 5, Warriors at 6, Pelicans at 7, Wolves at 8, Lakers at 9, and the Suns at 10. I remember that we were both very adamant about being down on the Suns. I remember
Yes. Yes.
mid-season.
But what the fuck was I? Oh well, the Pelicans were playing good until Zion got. So this might have been before Zion got hurt.
Yeah, and you had the Mavs and the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals, and you had NBA maybe this was like right after the Kyrie trade. I don't know. But you had NBA Finals, Nuggets and Celtics as the champions, and MVPs you had Luka, Jokic, or Tatum.
I got one of them right at least.
Uh, for me, I had in the East, I had Celtics at 1, Bucks at 2, Sixers at 3, Nets at 4, Cavs at 5, Heat at 6, Knicks at 7, Raptors at 8, Hawks at 9, and Pacers at 10. I don't know what I was thinking. I was smoking some ooh wee. Still had the Eastern Conference Finals the same with Celtics and Bucks, and then in the West I had Nuggets at 1, Grizzlies at 2, Warriors at 3. Mavs at 4. Sheesh, we were both very high on the Mavs. Kings at 5, Clippers at 6, Wolves at 7, Lakers at 8, Pelicans at 9, and the Suns at 10. And the Western Conference Finals, I had Nuggets and Warriors, and I still had the same picks of Warriors, Bucks in the finals, and the Bucks. This time, I picked the Bucks as the champions, and my MVPs, I got 2 out of 3 correct. I had Luka, Embiid, and Jokic.
Terrible, absolutely terrible. I think this was pre Kyrie trade. I think the Mavs are just playing good at the moment.
Yes, I agree. I think you're right there. And yes, Romeo says Mavs, LOL. They go on to tank. Yes, tank all of our picks. All of our picks got tanked. God damn.
I don't appreciate that.
Alan Weinstein said, I wasn't surprised to see Denver win. I was surprised Miami didn't get at least one game. They did get one game in the finals. Did you watch? He said, but they played above their heads the entire playoffs, and he caught up with him. You mean them? Denver is a nice team. I'm not talking about seeing the Denver Nuggets. I'm not talking about at the beginning of the playoffs. I'm saying if you were surprised Denver won from the beginning of the season. Not too many people were that high on them to win the championship at the beginning of the season. That's why we're showing our preseason picks, because neither one of us were that high on the Nuggets.
No, not at all.
But they showed themselves to be probably the most all-around team when it came to defense and offense throughout the regular season. They were the number 1 seed in the West, and they came through in the NBA Finals. And they played a more inferior team in the Heat, and it just the Heat was playing above their pay grade for the whole entire playoffs, and it just really caught up. They ran into a buzzsaw basically, where game 1, the Nuggets really handled them 104-93. Game 2, they stole in Denver 111-108. One of the better playoff games I thought in the entire playoffs was game 2, where Miami stole that one, and then pretty much they dominated the next 2 games in Miami, winning 109-94 in game 3, game 4 108-95, and game 5 94-89. That's like a score just out of the 90s, basically, how the 90s scores used to look. But overall, what would you say was the biggest difference for the Nuggets overcoming the Heat in 5?
That's it. Just that. I mean, the guys, the role players on Miami played good until they got to the finals. You know what I mean? Because then you had to put everything on Jimmy. Playoff Jimmy couldn't come out and put up 40, 50 a game. Denver's a really good defensive team, and they just got way too many. They're just too deep. That's it. Like it's easy to see how easy they outplayed the Heat. Like, and it was just based off of physicality, hustle, just like hitting open shots is a big thing. You know what I mean? Just the Heat, they couldn't convert. Their role players just didn't convert. And nobody converted. The only guy that really showed up all 5 games, I would say, is Bam. Other than that, and man, Jimmy to an extent, he's not going to put up fucking 30, 40.
I mean,
he's still got to bar your best player, though, and he's still going to do the little dirty things that's going to make him effective in the game. He's not going to give up. That's the most important thing about Jimmy Butler. I don't think he's going to give up on you if he's having a bad offensive game. So, I mean, you can say whatever you want about Jimmy Butler, but he got you. He got them there. So I'm gonna let it slide. But Bam showed up. The rest of the team, maybe Kyle Lowry here a couple games. That's about it.
Yeah, they just don't have the same depth as the Nuggets, and that was the difference between the Nuggets and the Suns in that series, or why they were able to overcome, KD and Devin Booker scoring bananas points throughout that series. They were able to overcome them because of their depth, and it's the same thing with the Miami Heat. And Jimmy Butler just wasn't the Jimmy Butler that we saw against the Bucks and we saw against the Knicks in the series with Boston and Denver. I mean, he did score 20 points for 4 out of the 5 games in the Denver series, but he had the horrible game one where he was 13.6 of 14 from the field. Then he had a horrible shooting night in game 5 as well with 21 points, 5 of 18 from the field. Game 2, he had 21.7 of 19. That wasn't great shooting either. And then game 3, he had 28 points and 11 of 24 from the field. So he really didn't have the best shooting games. The best shooting game that he had was game 4, where he was 25 points on 9 of 17 from the field. So it just wasn't the Jimmy buckets that we were seeing that dropped 56 against Milwaukee, that was really had his, at will, was scoring and playing great defense against the Knicks. He just wasn't that in the Boston or the Denver series.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, he still does like the little things and shit that still makes him effective. So I'm willing to give him a pass because he had a rough offensive series. But at the end of the day, your role players got to step up too. Struss struggled. Vincent struggled. I think what's his name? The other guy, Caleb Martin, had a few decent games. And then you also got to remember their second best scorers, or maybe their best scorer, is not even on the court. He was still hurt, so he couldn't even play. So I mean, just a lot of things at play in that series.
Yeah, it added up, and it was just they weren't on the same level as the Denver Nuggets. And so the real question that a lot of people have been asking since the end of the NBA Finals, and we would love to hear from all of you in the live chat what you think, is will the Denver Nuggets repeat next year? Because a lot of their top players are going to be under contract still. They got Jokic, who's a perennial MVP candidate and really had one of the more dominant postseasons in NBA playoff history. You have Jamal Murray, who has really come into his own, where it's no longer Bubble Murray, it's just Jamal Murray, who can be an all-star. You got MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., who is healthy this season. Aaron Gordon was one of the best pickups as far as someone that just fit in so nicely into their style of play. So do you think the Denver Nuggets can repeat next season?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they could. I think they got the team. It depends. They got to keep a few guys, but I think they'll be able to make it work.
I think so too. I think they're in a really good position because their top player is 28 years old. He's coming off, NBA Finals MVP, two-time NBA regular season MVP, and just such a ridiculous performance in these playoffs. I'm pulling up his playoff stats right now so we can talk about it. But man, it was just so dominant, the performance that Jokic had throughout this postseason. Number one in points, number one in rebounds, number one in assists for his team. It was just ridiculous what he was able to do in the postseason. He averaged 30 points per game, 9.5 assists, 13 and a half rebounds, and then his shooting numbers were off the charts. 55% from the field, 45% from three, 80% from the line. Like, this is just out of this world type numbers. One block, one steal, one of the greatest performances in a postseason era. Here's the question now, Chris G. Where does Jokic rank all time? All time. And there's some people that are saying that if you could take one center any era of all time, people are saying now they would pick Jokic to be that guy. And when you look at his accomplishments, when you look at his stats, you can't really argue against it. But where do you say he ranks all time in NBA history?
How old is he? 28. He's still got a long way
28
to
years
go.
old.
I think he got a long way to go. I mean, if he can keep doing what he's doing for another 5 years, top 15, I can see maybe top 10. Because like it's hard. He's skilled
Top
for his
10, I wouldn't
position.
go that far. I mean, if you're just
Maybe,
talking about
maybe, maybe.
if you're talking about centers, then yeah, he would be top 10. But I think
It's
it's too soon to say he's top 10 all time. Like we literally it took Steph Curry 4 championships. After a unanimous MVP, 2-time MVPs, 3 championships. No one was even broaching the conversation of league of top 10. It wasn't until last NBA finals when he had the dominant performance against the Boston Celtics and then everything accumulating. That's when we had the conversation about him in top 10. I think it's very presumptuous to even question, to even broach the conversation of top 10. I would say top 25 is the best you can get as far as a good argument for Jokic right now.
I think right now, I think top 25 is reasonable, right? But like we don't know how his career is going to end. He might win 4 or 5 more championships.
Yeah, he might. And then we can have that conversation about top 10.
Yeah, for sure. I was looking down the line. Top 25 now for sure. Top 10 maybe when his career is over. I can possibly see it. It's also like I feel like centers they're kind of hard to put like on the list in history because they're so physically dominant, more dominant than everybody else in the position. That's why guys like Jordan, Kobe, LeBron like get put over the big men because they're undersized compared to these big men, but their skill sets are so expansive, and the way they control the game is so unique. So it's hard for centers, in my opinion, to like rank them, like because they're all good. When you talk about Bill Russell, Shaq, Jokic, Olajuwon, David Robinson, like the list goes on. There's fucking legit 20 Hall of Fame centers, but it's hard to pinpoint which one is the best one because it's like it's hard. They all bring something different, and then you got to take account. You got to take the fact that they are more physically dominant than everybody else playing their positions. When I talk about guards and forwards and stuff.
Okay,
I went on a diatribe.
No. You
just
broke
for
it down.
me, it's hard to put centers on the list. Yeah, it's just in my opinion, it's hard to put centers on the list.
We got Romeo who says absolutely about the Denver having a chance to repeat. He says Malone proved himself too, going toe-to-toe with Spo. He will have to find a new way to motivate his team now, though, because they are the hunted now. Man, all I got to say is that the Los Angeles Lakers live rent-free in the fucking Denver Nuggets' head. Like you would think that this was the most dominant sweep ever. They did a 4-game sweep by what the total amount of points were, Chris G? 24 points. They beat us by overall in 4 games. 24 points. Like it wasn't even a dominant sweep. It was every game was pretty much close other than one the whole fucking series, and we still live in rent free where they couldn't even celebrate their championship without mentioning us. Jesus Christ, we live
I mean, somebody was talking shit. Somebody on the Lakers was talking that shit that they shouldn't have been talking.
No, that's them. That's them. It was always Mike Malone. Mike Malone, like, oh, why you guys always talking about the Lakers? Like, oh, the narrative is this, the narrative is that. I think they were really upset about LeBron saying that he was thinking about retiring afterwards, and that became the conversation after they swept
Makes
us.
sense.
I understand that.
Makes sense.
That's fine, but Jesus Christ, just celebrate your championship. Why do you need to mention us? You didn't even beat us to win the championship.
Blame it on LeBron.
No, I'm blaming it on them. We shouldn't be living rent free. ALW saying Denver has a good chance to repeat, but repeating is really hard. If Denver can stay healthy, and depending on what the other teams in the league do, they have a chance to do it. We also got Romeo who says Jokic's style of play is good enough to go another 10 years, but who knows if he will want to retire early and go be with his horses. He's the type of dude that is not going to go 10 more years. He's going to retire.
He might retire already at 32. He might be like, if he wins one more championship before he's like 30, he might just say fuck it at 30, bro, and just be like, oh, I've had a good career, you know. I'm going to back, going back to Serbia and racehorse.
And
Fucking
this is
enjoy
the
the
other thing.
champagne.
See, ALW knows. ALW knows that we don't care about the Denver Nuggets. They are not. We don't consider them our rivals, despite them sweeping us in the fashion that they did. We don't consider them our rivals. Celtics are our rivals. The Sacramento Kings, even though that was 20 years ago, they're more of our rivals than y'all. The Warriors, because we have LeBron and because they're in our state. They're more of our rivals than the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets, y'all won the championship. Just be happy. Why y'all gotta mention us? It's not LeBron's fault. It's their fault. Why are we living rent free? Just celebrate. Be happy.
I'm putting the blame on LeBron. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You don't
now
shut it.
this is
You don't shut his
ridiculous.
fucking mouth.
All right, so the Jokic conversation, we said we're going to say for now top 25 all time, out of all the players, just centers. Who would you put in front of Jokic, and who do you think, like big names, he's eclipsed already with this championship? Right off the bat, I would say Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaq. Those are the three I would definitely put ahead of Jokic right now, all time. Elijah I would put up there. I don't know. It depends on if you consider him a power forward or a center. Duncan. I think Duncan is probably the
I
most
think he's more of
similar
a power forward.
to. Yeah, I do. I agree with you.
I consider him more of a power forward. But all the names you just mentioned, I think that's it. I really do think that's it. Maybe David Robinson. Maybe.
I was gonna say that was the other person I was thinking of. Maybe David Robinson.
David Robinson was good. I mean, I'm not gonna say Pat Ewing. I was gonna say I'll put Pat Ewing only because I'm biased, but I'm not gonna put.
Christ.
I'm not gonna do it. I think those are honestly the only names you could put over Jokic. That's it.
Yeah, as far as centers, I think we could say those four, and then I think he's better than Pat Ewing. I actually would put him ahead of David Robinson. I would put him ahead of David Robinson because he has the two the two league MVPs. I think David Robinson only has one, possibly. I'm not even really sure.
I don't even he has an MVP.
Yeah, I don't even think he does. Maybe who won in '95? Someone check that for me. Who won in '95? If it wasn't Elijah Wan, I think it was David Robinson. But Romeo says I still got Elijah Wan above Jokic, but it's a matter of time before Jokic passes him for me. Yeah, I mean that's the one that he's closest to. That's the one that he's closest to. We also got Romeo says give Jokic a Tim Duncan besides him. I mean, if we put Tim Duncan in the center conversation, I would put Tim Duncan ahead of him. But yeah, I would say right now it's definitely the big four. No, I forgot Will Chamberlain. There's five ahead of him.
I thought you said Will.
No, I said Bill Russell. I said Kareem, Shaq. Those were the first three, and then we said Elijah Wan. I would also say Wilt Chamberlain. So those five are the only centers I think we should put above Jokic right now.
Agreed.
So we got those five. So Jokic is 6 all-time centers after this championship. Now we'll make it more expansive here. Big men. So that includes power forwards. So we got those 5. Now we could put Duncan. Now this is the good question. Dirk or Jokic?
Damn, that's
I say Jokic. I say Jokic.
I mean, Dirk was around for a while though. His longevity is what makes him legend.
I know his longevity is the key part of that, but I would put Jokic ahead of Dirk right now. And this is something y'all know me. I've been hating on Jokic before hating on Jokic was popular. It was a popular thing. I was saying he didn't deserve his first MVP. But right now, when you win a championship, that takes you to another level. And I think that it was already a conversation of 2 league MVPs. See, I was right. 95. I know my league MVPs. 95. David Robinson won
It's
MVP.
definitely when he dropped 75. Fucking
Exactly.
that game. Yeah.
It was. I
Oh,
think it
that
was between
AOW. Yeah,
him and
AOW
Shaq.
shit.
Him and Shaq. It was between him
Yeah,
and Shaq.
that's wild.
Yes.
So yeah, one MVP, but still, all right. So then Jokic at the two over him.
Yeah. So I would put him above Dirk. So we just got those six. Those six as far as like big men all time. So it would be. How would you rank those six before you get to Jokic? Who
So
would be
basically,
number
the
one
five
for you?
centers, including five centers and Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
put Kareem number one.
okay.
I would pick Kareem number one because he's got the league MVPs. He's got the five championships. Um, well, six championships because he won five with Magic and then won one with Milwaukee. So he's got six championships, five MVPs. I would pick Kareem number one. Okay, this is just me because I always say Bill Russell. Yes, he has 11 NBA championships. That is something that would automatically put you. He's in my top five for sure. But he did against a bunch of mechanics and teachers. So their full time jobs was like
I was waiting
mechanic,
for it. I was
teacher,
waiting for it. Plumbers. Beat a bunch of plumbers.
factory workers.
Yeah. Fucking
Basketball
beer
was their
factories.
part-time hobby. Like,
That's
I'm
crazy.
sorry. I'm sorry. It wasn't the competition that the rest of the guys were talking about here had. Similar to Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain, I think I would put out of these six that we're talking about, I would put Wilt six because he only has one championship. He's one of the most dominant centers ever, but he was dominant against a bunch of factory workers. Like, what are we talking about here? So
The guy would work the concession stands and then go sub in for the shooting guard.
the bench players playing concession. The bench players were checking for tickets.
Yeah, that's it. The starters were security, bro. They got everybody into the building and then they fucking suited up.
So I go Kareem. I would go Shaq because I saw Shaq. I saw Shaq. I saw how dominant he was. 4 championships, league MVP. Like, I saw how dominant he was. So I would put Shaq 2, 3 Duncan, 4 Bill Russell, 5 Elijah 6 Wilt, and then Jokic.
I would go Kareem first, Tim Duncan second. And I love Shaq. Shaq is my favorite center of all time. But I put him third. And the reason why I put him third and not second is because Tim Duncan's the best power forward of all time.
This is
Kareem's the
true.
best center of all time. So it only makes sense to put them 1 and 2. Shaq 3, put Wilt 4, Russell 5, Elijah 6, Jokic.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe I'm shitting on Wilt. Yeah, I would flip Wilt for Elijah because when we did our whole Steph in the top 10, I didn't have Elijah in the top 10. I think I did have a Wilt. I think I just edged out Wilt for Steph. So I have to have Wilt over Elijah. So yeah, Wilt, Elijah, Jokic. That's my top 7 big men of all time in NBA history. We got ALW. It says Kareem, Shaq, Jokic, Duncan, Russell, Wilt. I don't know how you have Duncan below Jokic. That's recency bias as fuck.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Like, you can make the argument for Russell and Wilt because, like we said, like you had the ticket cheerers, you had the ushers, freaking Russell.
Tim Duncan was the best power forward of all time in an era where like some of the best power forwards of all time before him were still kind of in their prime. and then
Yeah,
then like all the new age fucking power forwards had to go through Tim Duncan. Like he lasted so many generations of power forwards and was still the best out of all of them, which is crazy. That's why Tim Duncan, as boring as he was fucking the man.
fact. And Romeo saying, yeah, I'll take Jokic. I think he's saying over Dirk, especially since he's still got more to go. Well, we're not considering if he's still got more to go. We're judging it on what he's done right now. So that's the OT to
Pretending
this
he just
conversation.
retired. He
Because
just
yeah,
retired to racehorses.
we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know about injuries. We're just doing it if he retired today. That's what we did with Steph. If he retired today, Steph Curry would still be a top 10 all-time player after last season. And that's not even considering he dropped 50 in a game 7 this season. So speaking of the Golden State Warriors, we had Dolores in the chat. Welcome, Dolores. Welcome to the show. And remember, if you're with us live, remember to drop the thumbs up on the video and hit the subscribe button if you are new. We got a few more topics to get to since we've already kind of wrapped up our NBA Finals Jokic conversation here, because there's been a lot of NBA news since the season ended 1 week ago. Chris G, so what do you think about, first of all, let's talk about Ja Morant. Ja Morant getting suspended 25 games to start off next season. Do you think that this is the start of his comeback story, or do you think that we're going to be on another edition of Tru Heel Heat Check talking about the latest nonsense that Ja Morant has done, or is this going to be the thing that kind of changes the course for him?
I hope it's the thing that changes the course for him. I don't know. Like, I can't give you I don't. I've lost faith in the man in making an actual decision on what he wants to do for his future. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if the gun was fake and it was a toy gun in the latest video or whatever, like, still, like, you can't be trolling and shit like that. And especially after you gave the apology and, you know, you had the little sit down with Jalen Rose, like, shit looks bad. You lose all credibility. So at this point, we just hope this is the stepping stone towards his comeback. And I personally would have gave him half the season. I would have gave him 40 games. You want to fuck around? Here's half the season.
So you're on the side of it was too light of a suspension.
Yeah, because, like, not only, I mean, I get it. Listen, the guy's not breaking any laws and shit like that, but, like, you're a role model. You shouldn't be out flashing guns and shit. You already got bagged. You already took the sabbatical. The fact that even though you made a troll video where the gun wasn't real and shit, like, it's the wrong way to go, my guy. Like, you got to learn somehow, some way. So why not just fuck with your money? You know, give him half game. Take half the season from him. You want to fuck around? Here's half the season. Every time you fuck around, we're going to take half a season for you.
Oh, I understand the perspective. I thought that this suspension was what I expected the NBA to do, because the NBA, he didn't hurt anybody. He didn't have like any like domestic violence stuff, which we've seen plenty of that in NBA history, and the suspension wasn't as big as this. And you know, even the malice at the palace, I don't think it was that big of a big of a thing. But I can understand, like, anywhere between 25 to 40. I can understand that. We got Will here who says, I live in Memphis, and obviously I'm a Memphis fan, but he still should have gotten 50 games. I thought 50 would have been excessive.
Yeah, anything more than 40. Anything more than 40, I think, would have been crazy.
Yeah. We got here Romeo who says, forgetting the off-court stuff, I didn't like Ja Morant's style of play in the playoffs. Very Jeff Hardy like. This guy is gonna keep hurting himself on the court, let alone off the court. Drive to the paint and jump wildly and land recklessly. He's like a combination. You get I know the Jeff Hardy reference because we're wrestling fans, but if you're just doing like NBA reference, he's a mixture of Allen Iverson meets Dwayne Wade, where Allen Iverson, he was undersized. He would drive to the basket very recklessly, but Dwayne Wade was more of the one who would do it more like jump wildly and like Ja is doing, and he was the one that would get hurt. So I would say it's a mixture of D Wade and AI.
I would throw in a little Derrick Rose explosiveness in there.
That's true too, and the injury part, yeah, that is true too. We got Louis says Jeff Hardy, Ja Morant is perfect for the off-court stuff. I think the Jeff Hardy reference is more on point for the off-court stuff, mixed with how he plays.
Shit.
And
That makes sense. It's actually a good comparison.
AOW saying Ja reminds him a lot of Russell Westbrook's similar style of play. He's got a better jumper than Russell Westbrook. I'll just give him that. I'll give him that.
Yeah, at this point, I think I got a better jump shot than fucking Russell Westbrook. I love Russ. I love Russ.
I love Russ too, but it just is what it is. But yeah, John and the NBA Players Association came out and said that they thought the suspension was excessive at 25 games. So it depends on where you land, what you thought about his off-court stuff. But hopefully, this is the start of his redemption arc for Ja Morant because he's too talented. And god damn, man. How did the 2019 NBA draft it become that RJ Barrett, who did not perform that great in the NBA playoffs, he was the best pick out of that top three?
Whoa.
He's been on the court. He's been on the court a lot more than these two.
Whoa.
Than John.
He didn't have a terrible playoff. He didn't have a terrible playoffs.
Both of them got caught up by the American culture, gun violence, and obesity. The American culture has come back to haunt the top two picks in the 2019 NBA draft. You got one popping guns on Instagram. You got the other eating beignets and all the great food in New Orleans and becoming a fat ass. Like, what are we doing?
Well, man, RJ's sticking into his Canadian roots. That's it. Just wants to chill and work out and hit the gym. Practice his jump shot. That's it. That's it. And he didn't have a bad playoffs. He was our second best player. Third best player. Josh Hart was our second best player.
That's fair. Yeah, he played. Man, the Knicks got some young prospects out there. It's going well. It's going well. But he also got Romeo says, don't forget the third one: gun violence, obesity, and porn.
Can't get more American. Yes, can't get more American than that.
Can't get more American than that. What do you think about this whole Zion Williamson controversy? You got Mariah Mills out here spreading his drama, said that he's been cheating on his missus, and now the missus is coming at Mariah on social media, and she's been dragging this. Yo, she posts like at least once or twice a day about this dude, tagging him, in fact. And a lot of people are talking about possibly, as you know, we're recording this just 3 days before the NBA draft, there's been some rumors that New Orleans may put Zion on the trade market to get into the top three and get Scoot Henderson. So what have you been thinking about all the Zion Williamson drama, and do you think New Orleans would make that trade?
I think they're tired of his shit. I think he's tired of New Orleans. I think it'll be a nice change of scenery for both teams. I would hate to see him go to the Blazers for third pick because I would love to see him come to New York. So that's my thoughts on that.
Come on, we got like our good brother Stan King. Let Stan King get some love, man. Imagine Zion.
No. Dame, and this is I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this. No. You cannot help a man who doesn't want to help himself. He should have got the fuck out of Portland 5 years ago. And that's not anybody's fault, but Damian Lillard's fault. If he wanted to stay in Portland and build a contender, he should have not signed a contract that he was getting paid $48 million a year on. Sorry. How do you expect a team to improve the situation around you if you're in a middle market team and you want a max contract of almost $50 million a year? Explain to me how that is supposed to work. What, you think everybody's just going to jump at the fucking veterans minimum because Dame Lillard's in Portland? No, motherfucker. That's not how the NBA works. We respect what you're trying to do, but you're not helping yourself. So why should I give you anybody? Just rot in Portland with the rest of the people there. Sorry, Dame. And I love Dame, but like, fuck it. He can't help himself. Sorry.
Poor Dame. It's not Dame's time. Not Dame time.
No, it used to be. I love Dame, but like, nah, man, you gotta get out if you want to win. Sorry, you can't. You're not gonna win in Portland. It's just not gonna happen.
So, what do you think is the move for Portland? Because I don't think they should make the pick. I think they should trade, but I mean, if that's the best option, I would say go for it. Even though it's a risk. It's a risk making a trade for Zion Williamson because he's been off the court so much. I don't think Portland has as much good food as New Orleans, and I really think that Zion needs the change of scenery for sure.
It's tough. If I'm Portland, I'm trying to convince Dame Lillard to stay and that this third pick is good to have, because then if they pick either Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson, it's a guy that in 2-3 years they can develop and be really good because they already have a good skill set. They already have their physical specimen already. Scoot has crazy athleticism, which I think it's going to be Scoot. I think Brandon's going to the Hornets. So
Me too.
that being said, it also gives you collateral down the future, because if you want to trade Dame next season or whatever, then you got somebody you can still build around, even if Dame's value goes down or something. Like, there's just better options or better long-term options if you keep that third pick. You can trade for Zion, yeah, but like, who's to say that Zion's not going to get hurt again or fucking leave in 3 or 4 years when his contract's up? Like, and then you don't got no, and then you got to start from scratch because Dame's not going to be around in 3 or 4 years. So you got to weigh your options if you're Portland. I think they should keep the pick.
That's true. Will says, "How you get caught and have a baby on the way? Lazy fat ass." Sheet. No one pulling punches with Zion. Romeo says, "I read some stat. Nobody has scored more points in their first X amount of games except MJ. Problem is Zion don't play." Yes. It don't matter how many points he scored in X amount of games. When you don't play so much, it's just like he's looking like he is going to be a bust right now. If he's not able to stay on the court, it's like, do you invest long term? And if that's the best deal that for Portland, I do agree with Chris G that yeah, Portland should probably keep the pick and think more long term than trying to win now with Dame.
Yeah.
We got ALW saying no, wouldn't make that trade, but if I have 1 through 3 pick in draft, I am not trading it for Zion. Why will it be any different with Zion anywhere else? Because he don't have the food supply. He
Yeah,
don't
there's
have
not
the
going to
amount.
be no gumbo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He shouldn't go to New York. Imagine him with with pizza in New York, dude. It's gonna be the
Pizza,
same shit.
pizza's not too unhealthy though. There's good macros in pizza. People don't realize that. Gumbo and crawfish every day, and Cajun and shit. I don't think that's the way to go. Sorry.
Dude, not New York. We got every food that he would want in New York. What are you talking about? There's a whole bunch of chains. He go make him find a Shake Shack. Make him find that Shake Shack. Just a couple of blocks, and then they got a Shake Shack right by the Garden. It's a
Listen,
wrap.
there's also a lot of porn. So let him pick a vice, and maybe he picks the right one. He'll be good for the rest of the season.
He
Get
gonna lose
Zion
some
at his
weight.
lightest.
He gonna lose some weight. He gonna come out with brolic ass wrists.
This man is 275 pounds, all forearms.
All forearms, yo. Oh, Will says, Chris G, you really want Zion to become a Mick? Is he say a Mitch?
I don't know what he was trying to say, but yeah, sure, I'll take him as a Nick.
Nick and Mitch, whatever you want him as. No,
Yeah,
why
whatever.
would you do that? Louis says Zion wouldn't make it out of the airport in New York under $325. Yo, I will say, New York airport's got some exclusive food. Anytime I take a trip and I come back, dude, anytime I come back from a trip and I go to JFK, I either stop for something to eat or I get something to walk off with.
Airport food is amazing.
We got Stag King in the chat. He says, if I was Dame, I would leave too. Just horrible misplaced loyalty when you've already made the money.
Yeah. Like that's the only option he got. He can get traded to a team that's definitely more ready to win than Portland. And it won't even take much.
True. We got ALW says Portland has a lot of good food too. Not as much as New York. Not as much as New York, but he does say Portland is the strip club capital of the U.S. More per capita than any other city. Sheesh. Yeah,
That's
it's a
wild.
wrap. If he gets traded to the Portland, he goes to the Knicks. It's a wrap for his career. What are y'all thinking? Don't keep him away from both of these cities.
Yeah, so either you got to choose strip clubs or food. I don't know. Send them to Portland.
Well, speaking of big trades that have gone on or seem like they're about to be finalized, the big news came out yesterday from Adrian Wojnarowski that Bradley Beal is on his way to the Phoenix Suns seemingly out of nowhere, because we did get the report that the Suns were looking to shop Chris Paul just a couple of weeks ago. I think during the NBA Finals, that report came out, and then the big news drop yesterday. Adrian Wojnarowski put out the tweet just 47 minutes ago. Actually, he says, in addition to Bradley Beal and Jordan Goodwin, the Wizards are including forward Isaiah Todd in trade with the Suns. Todd, the 31st pick in the 2021 draft, has mostly played with Wizards G League affiliate the past 2 seasons, and his $1.8 million contract is guaranteed for 2023 through 2024. The deal is going to also include here, just getting up the tweet here from Wojnarowski from yesterday, where he said that Bradley Beal is going to form a new big three. The Washington Wizards are finalizing a trade to send the All-Star guard to the Phoenix Suns, sources tell ESPN. Beal's waiving his no-trade clause to form a new big three with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and teams are still working through the framework. Suns are expected to send Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, multiple second-round picks, and pick swaps to Wizards, and Phoenix has no available first-rounders to include in the trade. Beal's no-trade limited Wizards marketplace, and deal could take a few days to be finalized. So what do you think about Bradley Beal forming a new big three with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant?
There's a lot. There's a lot going on right now. First of all, I don't know. I don't necessarily think Bradley Beal was the missing piece for the Phoenix Suns. Uh, you have nobody on the roster. 5, 6 guys on the roster now. So that means you have to fill in the rest of the roster with guys who are taking the veterans minimum, role players, whatever. So you're not going to have much depth now. You're relying on your starting five basically to carry your whole game in some form of fashion. You got new coaching coming in. It's a lot of moving parts. I like it for the Wizards because I guess it's a rebuild and stuff. And they could have got a little bit more, I think. I mean, you could have thrown a first round pick somewhere. But at least they're starting from scratch and they're trying to build up some capital. So I like it more for the Wizards. This is one of the rare occasions that somebody trades for a superstar, and I like it more for the other team. I don't think Bradley Beal is the answer for the Suns. Who knows if he's going to stay healthy? Who knows how playing with KD and Devin Booker affects his game? Ayton, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Ayton. We'll see if Ayton gets traded still, because we don't know if he's going to be sticking around or whatnot. I would expect them, if they didn't trade him now, and I would expect him to stick around at least for this season, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think his value has gone significantly down. So I think that's going to be the biggest issue for them, because they're going to trade Aiton and get a few pieces to add to their depth. But I don't understand it at all, because the whole issue with the Phoenix Suns, everybody and their mama knew the issue. They had no depth. They traded most of their team to get Kevin Durant, and it was not about getting a third scorer. It was about adding to the depth, getting some bench players, getting another big to work alongside Ayton or replace Ayton. Those were the issues. Getting Bradley Beal solves none of that, and you are just further destroying the rest of your team. And it's just like, yeah, it's gonna be cool. You're gonna have 3 guys that's gonna give you about anywhere between 60 to 80 points per game, but you're not gonna be able to stop anybody probably. So what the hell is the problem? It just feels like they just became the Nets 2.0, the Nets big three of KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, but they're just in the West now.
Yeah, KD likes making these big threes that don't make any sense. I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying KD's behind Bradley Beal, but it's just a weird trio. I'm interested to see how it works, but I don't have faith.
I have no faith either in any of this. John Martin stacking saying James Harden to the Blazers confirmed with the strip club numbers. Louis says we as a collective need to raise our standards for a quote unquote big three. I mean, that is fair. That is fair. ALW says, all I heard was it sounds like Chris Paul is not coming to the Lakers, and I am so happy. I just hope, yeah, I do not want this Chris Paul. I wanted Chris Paul in 2011, not in 2023. I'm good. I'm good on it. Even though I think Chris Paul, the best place for him would probably be the Lakers, but I don't know if that's the best thing for the Lakers. If we can get him on the minimum exception and keep Rui Hashimura and Austin Reeves, then I might sing a different story here.
I mean, I would. I like D'Angelo Russell. I like D'Lo and the Lakers. So the need for Chris Paul isn't like super there, but I think Chris Paul would help.
Yeah,
I think he
yeah,
would
because
help.
because it's better for LeBron because we saw when we won the championship in 2020, a lot of that was down to LeBron not having to take the ball and be the point guard. He played point guard, but he didn't have to play the primary point guard because we had Rajon Rondo. I think if Chris Paul can just fill that Rajon Rondo spot, we'd be good. We'd be good to go, and we wouldn't have to worry about the bad shooting nights from D'Angelo Russell too much. And I think we could, if he signs with the minimal exception, and we keep Austin Reeves and Rui Hashimura, I think it's good. We're good. We're good. We're good money.
It's possible. It's possible. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm hearing the Clippers might be looking into a reunion, so we'll see what happens.
Jesus Christ! Every time a point guard is on the open market, the Clippers are interested in. ALW saying Beal, Durant, and Booker on paper looks okay, but on court we will see. They all need the ball. That's the issue. They all need the ball. Like that's what's the Nets 2.0. That's where that all comes from because you have three guys who need the ball. Romeo says the Nets are the winner in this trade because it's completely possible this all blows up with Durant again deserting them for another team and this team being ass. Nets own the Suns first rounders. Yeah, they do come out the winner in all of this because if this blows up and doesn't go right, if they don't win a championship, it's like, yo, I'm thinking about it now. I said it in our chat and I'll say it here. Durant should have never left the Warriors for all of this. For all of this, what was the reason of leaving the Warriors when you could have got another championship? If your legacy is you never want to do the work on your own, you never want to be that guy, you always want to be in a big three, your best situation was in the Warriors. Why? So stupid. So stupid. 100% stupid.
No words. No words. This is what he deserves.
You got what you deserve. ALW saying D'Lo makes too much money for what he does on the court. Yeah, that's why I don't want D'Lo to come back. I think he's getting paid too much to get
Is he
to
a
get
free agent?
yeah.
I think his value's down, though. I don't think he'll make as much money.
I agree. And then we should also mention about 1 hour ago, I think, as we were going live, Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted out that Clutch's Rich Paul to ESPN saying that Golden State Warriors Draymond Green is declining his player option. And he said, and I quote, "We will continue to talk to Golden State and explore all options." Paul said it was expected Green would opt out, and now he can talk with Warriors and explore signing trades and free agency. The Warriors have been motivated to sign Green on a new deal. This is the question, Chris G. Does Draymond Green put on a Golden State Warriors jersey next season?
I think so. I think so. but I think Jordan Poole's getting traded. If he is, I think they got to do something with that team chemistry. Something needs to change. So if Draymond does come back, I expect one of the young kids to get traded, either Wiggins or Jordan Poole, either one. I'm not too sure. I would expect Jordan Poole
Jordan
more
Poole.
likely. Yeah,
I agree
but
with you. I think Jordan Poole would be the one that would be on the outs after getting yoked up and punched out by Draymond, if that's the case. As far as yeah, ALW, I think we pretty much answered with the Lakers. They need a point guard. They need a point guard who could fill in that Rajon Rondo spot, and they definitely more than that, they need to re-sign Austin Reeves and Rui Hashimura. If they can re-sign those guys, I know they can, sign, match any offer sheet that Austin Reeves gets up until $100 million. Hopefully, his value isn't past that. I think you would be overpaying for him if you did pay him more than that. But I'm hoping that we can re-sign Austin Reeves. Most of all, that's the number one thing for the Lakers to do this offseason. And then when they're done with all that, if they can get a bona fide point guard who could take care of point guard duties and take some of that work off of LeBron's back, I think that's the best thing for them.
yeah. I mean, I think somebody's going to overpay for Austin Reeves. I'm sorry. I think somebody's going to do it just to spite the
You're
Lakers.
hoping
Probably
for
not
that.
even.
You just want to spite the Lakers. I get it.
I don't want to spite the Lakers. The rest of the NBA wants to spite the Lakers. So I think somebody's going to overpay for him. There's always a team out there that's willing to overpay. So I think somebody will overpay for him. But they definitely need to resign Hachimura if they could. He brought some good energy. Definitely improved a lot on his game while as a Laker. So and he got the opportunity over there. So hopefully they resign him. It's gonna be an interesting offseason. Now,
What
yeah,
about your Knicks?
yeah. Now here's the tricky part, right? Somehow, some way, we have to get rid of Evan Fournier's contract. Uh, D Rose, I think, is on a player option that's probably going to get declined or a team option. So we're going to have a few dollars to spend, right? We need to re-sign Josh Hart and maybe get a little bit more depth on the wing, another like D&3 guy. And maybe you ride it out. Maybe you ride it out. Maybe you run it back with the same team next year. They played good. They have an identity now. You need your star player to step it up. Julius Randle steps up in that series against the Heat. We're on to the next round to beat the Celtics, right? Granted, he was hurt. His ankle was fucked up. Still went back out there, try to play. Get it. I understand. I'm not mad at Julius Randle. I've gotten past that point. However, if there is somebody out there that you can trade for, I think Julius is the guy that you have to trade. I don't think you should be trading RJ Barrett. Sorry. 23 years old. I'm still giving him I'm giving him all the benefit in the doubt because he's still young, still shows potential, and most of all, he stepped up in the playoffs when he had to. You can see the hunger in his eye that he wants to be better. He wants to be that guy. Julius, love him. He would have to be the guy that has to go, though. Who's really out there? Are you going to trade for Zion? Be risky. Beal's gone already. There might be a few names out there on the block. Doubt we can get somebody like Embiid. It's just what options do you really have? It's looking more likely we're going to run it back next year with the same team. Resign Josh Hart, maybe add another guy or two. Let the young kids play. Quentin Grimes, keep him healthy. Let him get another year developing. Sign IQ to the extension. See what happens with Obi. Maybe float his name out there for some trades and maybe get some money back or something. And work on the depth there. I don't know. There's a lot of options, but there's no clear cut path for the Knicks to be an elite level team. I think they have the talent. They're missing something, and I can't tell you what it is.
That is all fair. Good points. I hope the Knicks don't get to the next level because he wanted to hate on me and say that we're not going to re-sign Austin Reeves. So I'm just going to hope they don't get to the next level. So all that stuff is null and void. We got Romeo who says this comes from ESPN from the past hour. He says Ja Morant's camp reportedly feels like the NBA and the media are out to get him. Color me surprised that Ja Morant and his people and T Morant is someone that needs to do better. He needs to do better. Stop acting like your son's friend and start being a father. Happy Father's Day, Team Morant. Time to be a father. Instead of
Yeah,
celebrating with him,
yeah,
take the
exactly.
gun away. Be Vin Rames in Baby Boy. Take the gun away from Tyrese. Take the gun away. Be like, got you.
Stop being a wish.com usher and fucking take care of your responsibilities.
Also true. Also true. We got Louis in the chat saying Draymond cutting a promo on opening night, calling Pool soft, saying Pool is closed, party over. And then Romeo saying they have a ton of first round picks just sitting around waiting to trade for someone, talking about the Knicks, and
It's
they're
very
not
true.
going to trade for anyone.
I don't know.
Get anyone.
I don't know if
They're the
anybody's
Knicks.
available yet. I don't
They're the
know.
Knicks. Come on. Be real. Let's be real here. And then also Will saying, what would y'all do to make the Heat better as a team? I thought that was the place Bradley Beal should have went. I thought Bradley Beal he fits what they need. They need more scoring. They need a bona fide scorer like Bradley Beal. I thought that he would have fit in very well where he doesn't have to play the defense. They're already tight on that regard as far as their defense. I thought he would have fit in very well with the Heat. As far as right now, they need scoring. They need another scorer, preferably maybe someone in the front court, and they need a hero to be healthy. I think those are the two things that the Heat need most of all to be better next year.
There's a possible way to get Dame Lillard without giving up Hero. Explore it. If
That's
if you give up Lowry, Duncan Robinson, maybe a couple other guys, some future draft picks. I think it's possible. I think they might be able to do it. I think Dame is the guy that's. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's shipped out to the Heat.
That's a good shout as well. And then we got Louis finally saying Knicks and Christian would be interesting if Tibbs could accept the defensive lapses.
I mean, we don't really need Christian Wood though. We don't need another power forward. Starting quality power forward. I like Christian Wood. But I don't think we need him on the Knicks. I think we could use some more shooters. Uh, that's about it. I think we just need a few shooters, and if our fucking solid three, our core three could step up every game, we'll be straight. Just like the Nuggets. Nuggets were built, they're solid, their core showed up every game, and they have shooters. They had guys who hit jump shots.
All right. Well, that brings us to a close on another edition of Tru Heel Heat Check. Thank you so much to Chris G. Thank you so much to all of y'all in the chat. We love interacting with y'all. So join us here for our next one. We will probably be coming back to you because this week on Thursday you got the NBA draft. The beginning of July is free agency. So after the first week of free agency, we'll come back with another edition of Tru Heel Heat Check, episode 10, to talk about the NBA draft, to talk about free agency and where everything is lying. I will give you our big winners and losers from the NBA draft during that episode there. Chris G, please let the people know where they can follow you on social media, what you got going on, Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, everywhere else.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tru Heel Chris G. Every Tuesday on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. NX3. So live NXT watch along at 8 o'clock. And then Thursdays on the Twitch, we do Blunt Impact. That's the Impact Wrestling watch along. And then I'm eventually going to start gaming again. I don't got a PS5 for no reason. I'm going to start using it. I gotta figure it out, but I'm going to figure it out. There's a lot of good shit coming out. So I definitely want to start playing more. So you can catch me on the Twitch eventually. Hit those notification bells. You'll be privy to everything ahead of time.
Absolutely. Yes, we made this thumbnail and we haven't even been using it that much.
I've
Come on,
used it a few
live streaming.
times. I got to use it more. It's my bad.
Yes, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. If you like me talking about NBA basketball, I'll be talking about it again as we got the return of FMC on Fightful Overbook tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Me and Jeremy Lambert will talk about Bradley Beal to the Sun, talk about Draymond Green leaving the Golden State Warriors, all that good stuff on tomorrow's FMC. We had 2 weeks off. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Follow us on the Twitter machine, on Instagram, Facebook at Tru Heel Heat, patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat, $3 a month, more exclusive content. Plus, you got the Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship. So much to offer over there. And check out all the great content over on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, like our flagship show, Tru Heel Heat 230 from this past weekend with myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and special guest Steven Jensen. We talked about CM Punk's ESPN interview, talked about Jey Uso betraying Roman Reigns, the implosion of the bloodline, and all the great stuff going on in professional wrestling. Check out the debut edition of Collision Course over on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. Collision Course, #1 counterfeit bucks, talking about the debut of Collision, CM Punk's huge return, his promo. Was he whiny? Was he a hero? We discussed it, me, Romeo, and sober guy JJ. So go over and check that out. And check us out at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight with Rated Raw Superstars. True Jaw Josh will be there. He'll have somebody with him, we promise, on Rated Raw Superstars. Number 102, Seth Rollins Open Challenge. Logan Paul returns. So much to enjoy over there as well. We got in the chat final comments to feature here. Romeo says, I think there's going to be some big moves in the draft. It sounds like it. I don't know if Scoot Henderson is going to go to the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't know if Zion's going to be traded. So maybe we'll come back sooner. If there's a lot of big moves for the draft, maybe we'll have to do something maybe next week or the week after. We'll let you know for sure. You'll keep you posted on our social platforms. And Will Chisholm says, y'all got facts. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, good brother. Thank you for joining us. And remember to subscribe to the channel. We are like 5 away now, I think, from 400 subscribers. So help us out, push that number up, and let us hit our next milestone. But for Chris G, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat Check #9, reviewing the NBA Finals. We are signing off until next time.